Hello, how is everyone? How's your last week been? Have you done anything exciting, or is everybody kind of in Halloween / Christmas mode? I keep seeing people on social media that not only putting up Halloween decorations but also putting up Christmas decorations, which it's a bit early. And sorry, I'm nowhere near organised for doing the whole Christmas thing, let alone put decorations up. I mean, I have started my Christmas shopping, but that's a wee bit different because that takes longer. Christmas decorations, you can whiz them up in no time, and obviously unless you need to buy new decorations, it's not going to cost you money because you've maybe already got them in. But yeah, no, I don't know. Are we all ready for all the kids coming round the doors trick-or-treating tomorrow? For anybody that does celebrate Halloween, I know not everybody will, and obviously for different reasons, some people might not like answering the door, so just be mindful of that there are elderly people out there and people living on their own, scared or whatever, that might not want to answer the door. So if you chat the door and you don't get an answer, don't keep chatting just because you know they might be in. Just leave them be. Let them live in their wee world, and enjoy their own night of whatever they're doing. And yes, you just enjoy your night. Hopefully it'll be nice and dry if you are going out trick-or-treating with the kids, because it's never nice going round the doors and it's pouring down with rain. I know in America yous have all got, yous go way. I don't even have the words. Like, I'm speechless. I'm never speechless. But yous go all out for Halloween, and I absolutely love it. I'd love to be in America at some point for Halloween, just to experience that atmosphere. The same as I've always said that I'd like to go to New York one Christmas just to experience the atmosphere. Same with Halloween. Although I don't know where's best in America to go for Halloween. Like, all you Americans that are listening, because I know there's many of you. What county, what state, what do you call it, is best to go to for Halloween? Where would you say you would get the best Halloween atmosphere? Or is there maybe a park that puts a Halloween event on? Like, we get quite a lot of sort of theme parks here that I'll maybe put Halloween events on, but I've never been to any yet, but I quite like to go to one of them as well. I've heard people, there's one in particular, and I can't remember what one it is, which is part of the reason why I forgot. Well, part of the reason, sorry, that I've not booked, and it's meant to be really scary. So yeah, that could be something to do in the future, especially as the boys are getting older and they don't really celebrate it at all now. They like to just go in their room and forget that Halloween's a thing. So yes, has everybody seen the social media about what we're talking about today? So did I do a live? Yes, I think I done a live. I done a video. I done one or the other. I done a video. Oh, can you tell it's one of the days? I posted a video to say that today we will be talking about doing things for yourself, doing things on your own, that sort of thing. Had a wee mini sing song. I mean, I think I sang, wait to count, 3 words, because I thought if I sing any more than that I might lose followers or listeners or both. Yeah, so you should go and look at it. It's entertaining if nothing else. It is posted on TikTok, Facebook and Instagram, I think. But yeah, so went on to say what we're talking about today, and then said, I'll go live at some point, but I knew I was going to be busy this afternoon, so I jumped on live quickly for I think 20 minutes or something, but then forgot what I was going to talk about. So that was a rambling mess, but I guess it entertains people. Maybe entertained a few people. So yes, and I might go back on live tonight at some point, but I'm working tonight, as I work every Wednesday night. So yes, that will be tonight's antics. Don't know what I'm going to talk about tonight either. Probably just talk about this. Or talk about myself. That'd be quite interesting. Not. Aileen's living a very boring life at the minute. Working, mothering, adulting to an extent. I wouldn't push that phrase too far because I don't know much adulting. How do you get? Oh, that's hard. The Aileen actually does. We'll not go there, and we definitely won't ask the mother. Although, if you did listen to my video earlier, you will hear that Helen, she wasn't angry with me. So, obviously, will I tell you just now or will I wait? No, I'll just tell you just now. So, part of doing things for yourself and not waiting for others, not relying on others, and not expecting anything from others. In that process, you will find who is your people. Well, Aileen's got to be very careful how she words things because Helen gets angry very easily, and I don't know if she listens to this, I might be grounded again. I'm like getting into trouble for her. So part of it is in the process of doing things for yourself, you learn about yourself, you learn what you like about yourself, what you dislike about yourself, who you like round about you, even though you might think they're your best friend or your favourite sibling, cousin, family member, whatever, and then you might realise, actually, do I really want that person in my life? And I will go into that a bit further, but anyhow, so Aileen has been on one of these self-loving journeys, will we call it that? It's nothing to do with self-love, but it is about figuring out who I want round about me. And I think I've spoke about this before. I know I have. I spoke about I get myself into some mangles, don't I? I've spoke about how you don't just because, remember when we were talking about when family becomes friends and friends become family and all that jazz, and I said, just because they're family doesn't mean to say they need to be in your life, and just because you've been friends with somebody for X amount of time doesn't mean they need to be in your life, but also friends can become family, or like family, should I say. They could become family if you end up marrying them, or they marry into your family, but listen, let's not let Aileen go off on a tangent. So, over the course of, let's just say a few years, could be longer, could be shorter, I'm not telling any time scales, I have been siphoning out, is that the right word? The people that should no longer be within my vicinity. We'll put it like that. The people that are not required to have any contact. I know somebody's going to listen to this and I'm going to get slated. But anyway, I don't care. This is my story and I am here to tell it. So I have been removing people from my life, and I removed one particular person who will not be named, or I will not tell you their association to me. I won't say it publicly. I might tell you privately if you want to. If I bump into you in the street and you recognise me and you say, Aileen, who was that person you were talking about on your podcast? I'll tell you. But we're not having any evidence. So anyway, I removed a certain person from all my social media. Oh, if you listen to this. I find it hilarious. I find myself funny. I've just said that to something. I'm going to tell you about her in a minute. Well, probably in an hour. That I laugh at my own jokes. You all know that because I laugh every week at my own jokes. And she said she laughs at her jokes. So I'm actually quite glad there's somebody else out there. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I had to tell Helen, just in case anybody grasped me in, telling tales on me. I said, Helen, I need to tell you something. Get a confession to make. And her face fell. She thought, oh, here we go. What has she done now? Because Helen's got no faith in me. Helen, nah. Anybody that's listening to this for the first time, Helen is my mother. So I told Helen that I have removed said person from my social media. And she says, and why? I said, well, I'm not telling anybody and I'm not telling you. And she said, I'm not just anybody, I am your mother. You listen to me. She didn't say that, but I just added that in. And I said, I don't care, Helen, I'm not telling you. And I didn't tell her. So she's none the wiser. But one day, Helen, you might find out. But then again, you might know. So yes, I am on this epic journey, if you ask me, of becoming, don't know what I'm becoming me, and not what everybody else wants me to be. And that's what you should be doing. You should be on your own wee journey, being who you want to be and not what everybody else is telling you to be. So if you've got potentially a mother or father that are desperate to marry you off because you're costing them a lot of money living with them, and they're saying, when are you going to get married? Do what I do, just say never. Get no intention of getting married. No, but in all seriousness, right, I'll be serious now, I promise. I'll try. Maybe I might not, but I will be serious a wee bit. Maybe not a big bit. Everybody needs to go on this journey at some point in their life. And I'm not saying you have to do it now, but for your own peace of mind, for your own, not even sanity, that's a bit of an extreme word, but just so that you can live the happy life that you want to live, you need to be able to, and it's not about standing up to people as in I'm standing up to the bullies, it's just putting your foot down and saying no when you don't want to do something, and saying yes, I want to do that when other people are telling you no. Does that make sense? Does really never make sense? Don't think the two answers are going to be the same. Anyway, so when you're on this sort of journey, and I know a lot of people are going to think when you talk about being on a journey that it's all woo-woo and whatever else. I don't mean it like that. I just mean take time out to think about, what do you want in your life? What do you want your life to look like? And the path that you're on just now, is that feasible? Is that what's going to happen? Or are you on a path just now where you're going to make somebody else's dreams come true, but you're kind of in the background or on the sidelines helping, but you're not particularly doing anything to make your dreams come true? So before I start talking about how you can kind of begin that sort of journey, or start to do things that you want to do for you on your own or with others, however it may be, we'll think about some of the things that you could do that you've maybe never even thought about before. Something that's become a lot more popular recently, it might just be that because we've got social media we hear about it more, is solo travelling. Solo travelling sounds scary to some, to others it sounds perfect, amazing, like exactly what they want, because they can do what they want, when they want, where they want, go where they want, stay there for how long they want. There's obviously the obvious, living on your own. There's solo parenting, working on your own, working from home, nights out on your own, everything, going to the cinema on your own, like anything that you can do with somebody else, you can do with others, you can do on your own, and yes, anything to an extent, but I ain't here to talk about that one. So where do you begin? I guess you need to sit and look at life as it is. Is it exactly how you want it? What would you change? And I don't mean within yourself at the minute, we'll get to that part, but about your life as a whole. Are you in the job that you want to do? And if you are in the actual role that you want, is it with the company you want to be with? What are your colleagues like? Do you get on with them? How do you feel when you're going to work in the morning, afternoon, evening, whenever it may be? Are you doing the hours you want to do? Are you at the sort of level within the job role that you want to be in? So maybe you see yourself as being telesales and you're happy to just stay in the phones, but then maybe you want to increase up to managerial level. Or are you a beautician and you're working for somebody else, but ideally you want your own salon? These kind of things you need to think about. And just a little FYI, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can change anything in your life at any age. So you could be 18, you could be 80, you can still change things, obviously depending on your health. So what in your daily life do you want to change? So are you living where you want to live? Are you still living with your parents? Do you want to rent? Do you want to buy? Do you want a flat? Do you want a house? Do you want a garden? Do you not want a garden? Do you want to be socialising at home? So dinner parties, garden parties, that sort of thing? Or would you rather be the one that goes to other people's houses to socialise for dinner parties, garden parties, etc.? Because you've got to remember, when you get visitors, you also have to hope they leave. Not all do, some stay forever. And even just your car, your children. Do you have children? Do you want children? If you don't have children yet, but you do want children, ideally, when would you want them? Now, another FYI, there's never necessarily a right time to have children. Obviously, that's for interpretation. But you can say, oh, I want to wait until I'm at a certain age, or I want to wait until I am within a certain role in work. I want to wait until I've got X amount in my savings. Obviously, none of us have got a crystal ball. None of us know what the future holds for us. So, if it's you're waiting for X amount of savings in the bank, I think the last few years have taught us that you can't always rely on having these savings and that they're going to go to what you want them to go to, because obviously with COVID and the prices of everything going up so much, like mortgages, etc., a lot of people have had to dip in or use all of their savings. When you do have children, regardless of how much money you've got, little or a lot, you adapt to that lifestyle, you adapt to having to feed an extra mouth, clothe another person. You just adapt. It's like if you were to lose your job and had to just take any job until you got the ideal role again, you would adapt to that pay grade. So yeah, there's many things that you need to think about. Then going on to the surroundings, will we say that? The people who surround you, not necessarily the actual house, car, etc. The people around you. Who do you have in your corner? Now, when I say that, that's not the same as who do you have in your life. These are two entirely different questions. So who do you have in your life? You could probably name off multiple people. But who do you have in your corner? Think of that in the sense that who's got your back? Who is going to be your champion? So if you decide to solo travel, they're going to be like, yes, you can do it. You've got, like, let me help you plan out your itinerary, blah, blah, blah. And who's going to be the ones, no, you can't do that. No, there's no way, you're not strong enough. You can't do that on your own. Something might happen to you, as if you don't know how to look after yourself. Or if, like myself, now I'm not saying this is what happened to me, but just I am a solo parent. So when I feel pregnant, and people would be like, oh, you're too young, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, oh, you can't do it, you'll never be able to cope, oh, you're selfish, but calm down, people. Just to let you all know, my son is 25 and he is still alive. He has got to the age of 25 with an amazing job and a career, should I say, and I done that by myself. So it's about you knowing your limits, you knowing what you can do, and I don't mean you know your limits because other people are telling you. You know your limits because you know you. So if you know that I can go and drive 8 hours down the motorway and I'll be absolutely fine, and I know how to book myself a hotel, and I know where I want to go, and I know what to do, or I know how to write myself up an itinerary to go island hopping or whatever it may be, but I also know how to protect myself. I also know how to be careful, how to be cautious, make sure my drink doesn't get spiked, make sure this doesn't happen, make sure that doesn't happen, make sure I've always got my wits about me, make sure everything's always locked away in my room, my hotel room, apartment, whatever it may be, making sure all your property's safe and you are safe. Or it could be that you are deciding that you're going to, I don't know, I'm trying to think, set up a business. Now obviously all these things that I'm saying I'm just kind of using off the top of my head at the minute, but anybody that's got something in mind, or they want to transform their life or themselves and they don't know how to do it, you can write into me. Now it may be something that I can just give you a quick answer to and see how you get on. It may be something that's going to take a bit longer, and in that case then that's when my coaching sessions would come in handy for you. And again, we can do them virtually over the phone, or we can do them face to face depending where you are, but that's not why we're doing this anyway. So let's get back to, if you were going to start up a business, who's going to be the one that says, oh my god, that's an amazing idea, like, you can do this, you'll smash it? And who's going to be the one to say, do you know how much work that's going to be? Like, you're never going to have any time to socialise, you're going to be so tired, you're going to have so much to do, how are you going to do all that on your own? Think about these kind of questions when I say, who have you got in your corner? Do you get what I mean by the difference between who have you got in your corner and who have you got in your life? It's when you think about it as a whole, when you sit and really think about it and take time to think about it, it's quite an impactful statement. Who have you got in your corner? Some people will be able to rhyme off every single person in their life. Some people will only be able to rhyme off one person. And some people may not be able to rely on anybody except themselves. And that's when you you get to know yourself. And this is what I mean by, don't wait for anybody else to say you can do something. Don't wait until somebody says, do you want to go to the cinema? Don't wait for somebody else to say, do you want to go on holiday? Do you want to have a baby? Do you want this? Whatever it may be. You need to get to a point where, regardless of who's in your life, regardless of who you can rely on, you know that you can rely on yourself, and you know that if you put your mind to it, you can 100% smash it. Kick it out the park. Like, you've got it. You've got it in the bag. You know where you're going, you know where you want to be, and you are running there, jogging, hopping, walking backwards, skipping. However you're getting there, and you know that you've got the willpower within you to ensure that happens. Preach it, sister. So yes, this is what I mean by you need to be able to rely on yourself before you can before you can rely on anybody else. You need to know yourself inside out. And yeah, you might think you do, but you probably don't. Most of us don't know ourselves. Most of us don't know our limits. Some of us think we do, but I'm sure our limits could exceed what we think they are if we put our mind to it, if we built up our confidence, we got to a point where, yes, I know that I can do. Like, if you say, oh, how do you feel about doing XYZ? And you might be like, oh, I'm not too sure, I don't really know. I don't know if I've got it in me to do that, or I don't know if I've got the strength, or I've got the mindset, or I've got whatever it may be that you need. And then the person's like, alright, okay, and just leaves you. That's not somebody that's going to champion you. That's somebody that's like, alright, I'll move on to the next person. But then you probably have got it in you. If it's something you're passionate about, and this is another thing, like, we need to make sure we're enjoying everything we're doing in life, because I tell you, like, life goes by in a flash. I am of a certain age, and I know that potentially I'll be lucky if I've got double what I've got, got the same amount of time left. But when I think about the years previous to now, they went by so fast. Like, I remember the last day of school. The last day I was ever at school and going round. I mean, I know I talk about this, I harp on about this story so many times, but listen, there might be new listeners that haven't heard this one. I remember taking my leavers form, which I don't think you get them anymore, but you did in Maddie. Taking my leavers form to all my teachers and getting them to sign it so that I could leave school. And then after I done that, I told my parents, but that's by the by, like, we just ignore that part. We're still here, we're still thriving, we're still growing. We're fine, we're absolutely fine. Helen might not agree, but we're absolutely fine. But yeah, I remember that as if it was yesterday. Clearly see myself standing in that class and giving the teacher and thinking I was so smart, and I was like, I was going out there. I was going to say take on the world, but probably to get drunk, but that's another story. That's for another day. But yeah, literally came out of my very last exam at school, went to the school office, asked for a leaver form, went around all the teachers, and that was me done and dusted. Bye bye. See you later. Hopefully not. One of the ones. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't have said this is where I would be. And not in a bad way, I don't mean it like that. I had no clue what I wanted to do when I left school. I knew I maybe wanted to do this, or I maybe wanted to do that, or I maybe wanted to do the next thing, but I also knew I really wanted to party my whole life away. And I done that for many years. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every single minute of it. But when I think back to those years to now, I can count on one hand, maybe one finger, one toe, one thumb. What was that song? One finger, one thumb, one finger, one thumb, one arm, one leg, one nod of the head, keep moving. Who remembers that? That's weird, that just came into my head. Here we go again, aliens went off topic. What was I saying? Anybody remember? Help, I need somebody. What did I say there? So, yeah, that's what I was saying. Although I wouldn't necessarily have said back then I'd be here, I'm glad I am where I am. But back then I would have said I was either working in an office, working abroad, working somewhere that doesn't necessarily involve working 7 days a week, almost 18 hours a day, but hey ho, when you love your job, you love your job, you know. But at the same time, your mindset can change over time. Your wants and your needs can change over time. If you think about the type of person you would date when you were 15, 16, let's use that wasn't one as an example, because that, let's just say that's a little taster of what might come up in topic in a future episode. And no, it's not one of my exes. Calm down. That's danger territory. But if you think about your ideal person when you were 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever, is that still your ideal person just now? Is that the kind of person you're dating just now, or that you've married, like maybe, and still together 25, 30 years later? Are they doing your head in? I wouldn't know. I've never had a relationship that's lasted that long. But I mean, this is where I'm going to get myself into trouble again. Oh no, Helen, don't listen. Shut your ears in. So I would always go for a certain type of person. Oh Jesus, I'm just picturing some of them. And it's nothing to do with looks, it was about their attitude. See if they had a... I don't know how to word this. If it was kind of it was the bad boy. I don't even want to kid myself on. It really was. Then I started to go on a good path, then I went in a bad path again. And I don't mean me personally, I just mean the boyfriends, the potential boyfriends, the what would have been the boyfriends. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, and there's no point in lying. I'm crap at picking boyfriends. It's not my forte, let's just put it that way. I mean, like I said, I'm a certain age, and I probably still couldn't pick the decent one at the lot. But let's hope we're updating you on that at some point in the near, not so near, distant, whatever future. I don't bloody know these days. So, my advice would be, and again, I might actually carry this one on to next week, because I've not managed to give as much information as what I thought I would by the time I got to 35 minutes. Is what I've been saying, because a rabbit, I mean, we all know healing is off topic every single blooming week. But I think I'll make a part 2 of this one next week. My advice initially would be sit down with a bit of paper and a pen, old school, or sit down with your phone and your notepad and your phone. However it's easiest for you, whatever you prefer to do. Me personally, paper and pen, and I'll write something in my notes if it's something that I'm hoping I don't forget, but then I'll probably forget I've put it in my notes, and then, oh Jesus, sound like I've got dementia, don't I? Excuse me, I think I've got the cold. Remember I had tonsillitis, and then that went away. I really do think somebody's got a voodoo doll out of me, and they're just making sure that the whole winter I'm going to be ill. I don't even know if it's technically winter yet, but somebody's put a spell on me. So my advice would be, let's go back to that bit, to get your notepad, whether it be on your phone, in your hand, blah blah blah, paper, pen, whatever you use, whatever works for you. Write down how you see your life at the minute, and I don't mean write down a story, just like a list of, right, okay, where am I living, what income have I got, where am I working, how do I see myself, how much attention do I give to myself, how much of this, who's in my life, blah blah blah, right, all these kind of topics. Now I'm not going to tell you everything that you need to write down, because that's for you'll know what you want to write down, because once you start writing, you won't stop. Once you've wrote that list, then write another list, and on that list put, right, okay, 5 years time, where do I want to be? I mean, you don't have to write 5 years, you can write 6 months, you can write 12 months, you can write 10 years, you do you, whatever you prefer, whatever distance you prefer to look to, you do that. Because we'll all have different, like every January I write myself a 12 months goal, plan, whatever, but I also know where I want to be in 5-10 years time, so you can do a bit of everything. There's no rules in this one, there's no law saying that you have to do this, you have to do that. So then you're going to write your list, so whether it be 6 months, a month, 3 months, 12 months, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, 7.5 years, is that halfway? Then you can put down, right, do I want to be married? Do I want to be living with somebody? No, this is just suggestions. You might already be married, you might be living with somebody. Listen, you might be thinking in 5 years, do I still want to be living with him or her? Joke. Do I want to be still in the same house? Do I want to buy? Do I want to rent? Where do I want to live? Do I want to live in the country I'm living in? Do I want to move abroad? The job that I've got, do I want to stay in that job? Is that fulfilling my needs? Is there something that I've really, really wanted to do for so long and maybe want a career change? Do you want a career break? Do you want to go back and retrain? Do you want to start up your own business? Do you want to buy a car? Do you want to have children? Have you got children? Do you want more children? These are the kind of things that you want to be thinking about. And then if you've got a partner, you could be sitting talking about it together, see their reaction. If you don't have a partner, then obviously, how do you do this on your own? And then we go back to, don't wait for somebody else. Don't wait for somebody else to tell you, you can do this, you can do that, you can do the next time. Because if you're on your own, like myself, you get to make these decisions yourself. And you know what? It means that 100% of the decision is yours, and nobody can say, why don't you tweak that? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And almost like, you might not want to do that suggestion that they've given, but you feel as if because they're a person that's close to you, whether it be a partner, a friend, a family member, whatever, you feel as if you can't say no. You might be strong enough to say no, and that's amazing, but not everybody will be. So this is a wee sort of tester for you. And listen, see, even if you're happy with your life just now and you're happy in yourself, I would still suggest everybody sits and writes down a little something about themselves, and then read it over and think, right, okay, is there anything I want to change about my life? Is there anything? Because if you think about it, you should always be checking in with yourself anyway, like self-care, self-love, which I suggest to everybody. All my clients, whatever else I'll say to them, self-care, self-love, always talking about it. So you should always be checking in with yourself, whether you check in with yourself weekly, daily, monthly, fortnightly, 6 monthly, whenever you remember. Check in with yourself, think about what's going on in your life, what's happening, is there anything you need to change, is there anybody you need to change, is anybody being particularly negative towards you that you maybe want to have a conversation with them. Now, I'm not saying that if there's somebody that's not your champion, you have to cut them out of your life, because you don't. You can still have people in your life, but it just means that you learn how to, I suppose, stand up for yourself with these people, because if they're going to be the negative Nancy's, you just need to be able to say, well, that's your opinion, but this is what I'm going to do, or this is how I'm going to do it, or your views are not needed here, they are not required. But sometimes negative reviews or negative statements can come in useful, because it may make you think a little different as well about where you're going with things. They may point out something that you haven't noticed before, I mean, you don't have to tell them if you don't want to. You don't have to thank them for being negative, even if it was a bonus. But yeah, let's carry this one on next week, because we're nearly at 45 minutes. And I couldn't tell you what I said 45 minutes ago. So, next week we'll carry this on. If anybody does actually do the sort of tasks that I suggested, it would be amazing if you kind of wrote in and told us, or even came on and tell us, like, what did you write down, and have you started to work on anything yet? And it could be good for you, because sometimes reading it and actually saying it out loud, you kind of hear things that you maybe never heard. So if you're saying it out loud, the penny drops sometimes, and maybe not so much when you're reading it. Anyway, enough of that. So yes, we'll carry this one on next week. Quite excited about this, actually, because, and like I said it already, but just in case anybody missed me saying it, this isn't about necessarily female empowerment. This isn't aimed at or directed at females. This is for everybody. This is for all men, women, however you identify. You can be any age. Well, obviously children, not so much, but even teenagers can do this wee task, because the earlier on that you can get that confidence within yourself, the better, because then you don't get walked all over the top of when you first start going out working, or you first go into college or uni, or you first become a parent, or you go into your first long-term relationship. You want to go in empowered as a he, she, they, or them. So yes, I'm trying to think now, do I have any Aileen moments this week? Have I had any? I probably have. But I don't know. I mean, apart from, took my mother to the shops yesterday, and she says to me, what do you want for your Christmas? I went, peace and quiet for you. I think she thought I was kidding. Being serious? Why do people think everything I say is a joke? Am I not a serious person? I was going to tell you, wasn't I? Did I tell you at the start of this? I don't think I did. But I'm going to do a live later on all my socials, and you'll get to see. I won a prize. I was just about to hold it up and show you, but then I realised that there's no camera. I won a prize, and it was a girl, Nadia, who I follow on TikTok. She's brilliant, she's so funny, she's so nice. We're quite alike, which we realised today when we were talking. The two are very, very chatty. So it was quick jump in and say something before Aileen gets another word done. Hold on. Hold up, wait a minute. Sorry, I was fixing my ear, I was scratching my ear. Was I going to say it? Yeah. So she done this wee competition thing on a wee giveaway type thing on TikTok, and she's very crafty, as in make stuff. I don't mean as in a wee crafty, sneaky person. She makes things. She also has her own business with her partner, and she'd put, I don't know, I can't remember how it all started. I'm sure it was somebody commented on one of her incense holders, burners things in her house, and it was, if you're in Scotland, it was a jobby. If you're anywhere else in the world, it was, how do I say it, poo, shit, the stuff that comes out your behind. Obviously she'd done it as a joke. I presume she'd done it as a joke. I don't even know how she ended up with it in her house, but I think she started to make something and it turned into something else. Anyway, so people were commenting on it, and then she thought, you know what, I'm going to make a couple and then I'll give them away. So she's done a wee competition. I was one of 4 people who won one. So she dropped off my parcel tonight, so I will put a post on social media tonight at some point, probably after the call, because I've got a call at 7:30 to do. And she was so kind. She brought that over. She dropped it off because she doesn't live far from me. And she put a couple of wee extra things in it, which was absolutely amazing. So grateful. She's just a lovely person, so kind-hearted. So yes, it was nice to meet her, because obviously we've had chats back and forth on kind of TikTok and whatever. But yeah, she's one of the good ones from what I can see. But yeah, I think you can always tell when you've met a good soul and when you haven't. I've learned that from experience. I've met the good, the bad and the downright ugly. And I don't mean ugly by looks. And I'm sure I've said that to you before. So yes, I am on a mission at the minute of trying to, and actually maybe one of the listeners might be able to help with this one. So with my therapy business, I used to do pop-up clinics here, there and everywhere. So I've not done them for, I think, 2 years, I think I said, roughly. Maybe more, I don't know. Days just fly by. So I'm thinking of starting them back up again. Might be in the short term, it might be long term, I'm not too sure. So if anybody does want to bring in a therapist who offers counselling, coaching, Indian head massage, hot stone massage, cupping massage therapy and hoppy ear candling, plus I'm going to be adding in lymphatic draining soon. I'm looking to rent once a week, once a fortnight, once a month, don't really know. Depends on prices, depends on what you've got to offer, days, etc. The areas would be Glasgow, Eastern Bartonshire, South Lanarkshire, North Lanarkshire, Stirling, Perth, possibly Ayrshire, don't know. Anywhere the kind of distances from Glasgow, if that makes sense. So as long as it's not, I don't want to be driving for like 3 hours each way. Does that make sense? I'm not driving to Dundee. Dundee's too far. Well, actually, no, right, I'm not driving to Dundee, it's too far. I do this all the time. I used to do this when I used to do markets. I'm like, I'll drive within an hour, and then the next thing you know, you're in Edinburgh, or you're in Dundee, or you're away up to Aberdeen, or wherever you're going. I think I'd done a tour of Scotland when I used to do the markets. I don't know if I've told you about that. I'll tell you about that another day. So yes, at the minute I am looking for premises, looking for pop-ups, also adding in new things. So if anybody, again, yeah, should have said to you, did I say to you? Don't know. I am adding in to my coaching for anybody that's looking to apply for college, uni, new job, promotion, anything like that. We'll write up your personal statements, we'll write up your application forms and things like that together, but not just that. There'll also be the coaching so that you believe what you are saying. And for anyone that doesn't understand what I mean, it's almost like that, who have you got in your life and who have you got in your corner. So you could write something on your statement, right? I can do X, Y, Z, I am this type of person and I am a team player, but I can also work on my own, I can do blah blah blah, right? The usual stuff. Yeah, you could write it. Do you mean it? Do you have the confidence in yourself to relay that to somebody in a interview environment without being hesitant, without them thinking, don't believe what this person's saying? Kinda, you need to learn how to big yourself up, and that doesn't come easy to everybody. It comes easy to some. Some people they just ooze confidence. It just oozes out of them. But there's very many people out there who lack a lot of confidence. They lack any kind of confidence, and that may be just in their DNA. It might be somebody's got them to that point. It could be a bad experience, it could be anything in life, but what we want to do is get you to we want you to be confident without sounding arrogant, because arrogance isn't nice either. So yes, that is something else that I've added into my therapy business. If anybody's interested in that or just wants any details, you can message me on here and we'll get in touch with you. I think that's kind of really all. I'm trying to think. I've been Christmas shopping online because I don't like shopping. I think I've told you that before. So far all my shopping's been online. I've got a couple of parcels still to come. What else have I got to do? I've started a new course, so I'm studying again. I'm trying to think. Winter time comes and Aileen's mind goes, because my curtains are open just now and it's like, it looks like it should be 11, 12 o'clock at night, and I've just made dinner. Anyway, so what was I going to say? Oh, I never won the lottery last week. I've got to tell you. Remember so last week was when I told you I was going to get this wee prize that I got today. And remember I thought that I was going to win the lottery because I'd won that. Well, the girl, I went to the shop, went to the garage, petrol station, whatever you call it, asked for a lucky dip for that night, and she gave me it for the Friday. So then I thought, right, either she's messed my chances up for winning the lottery, or she's gave me the winning ticket for the Friday. So I started to think, do you know what, she's gave me the winning ticket for the Friday. So I kept seeing two magpies, one for sorrow, two for joy. What's the most joyous thing? Wake up, you've won the lottery. I mean, there is many things that are more joyous than that, but at this precise moment in time, wake up and win the lottery. Did I win the lottery? Nope. Have I got the lottery on tonight? Yes. Am I going to win tonight? Of course. Why wouldn't I? Who else is going to win? It's got to be me. Well, it's got to be somebody. So no, I am not a millionaire yet. My son wants to be a millionaire because, well, not that he wants to be a millionaire, but he does want to be a millionaire, but he wants to win the lottery because he doesn't want to pay tax. He's such a wee cheeky monkey. But anyway, I am going to go because my story, there's no story this week because I've already told you at the start Helen was angry with me. But I've not got any funny stories this week, so how about we start looking at challenges? Maybe not every week, but writers, listeners, challenges. Write in with a challenge for me. Make it a good one, but also make it something that's realistic. I mean, not something like try and rob a bank without getting caught. I did ask one of the boys I went to school with if I wanted to do a Bonnie and Clyde about 10 years ago, but we're still not done it yet. Yeah, write in with challenges because that'd be quite good, especially in the boring winter days. I'll give you all a laugh. I need to be fully clothed as well because I've got 2 children, so don't ask me to strip or anything like that. And make sure I'm not going to die. Apart from that, I'll do anything. Oh, don't involve... Right. Here's a list. I don't want to die. I can't get naked. And what was that other thing I said to you? Make it realistic? I don't know. But it can't involve mice, rats, or sheep. Scared to all 3. Terrified. No. There were sheep had escaped from a farm up beside me last week, and I refused to leave my house for 2 days till I found out they were back in the farm. My son thought it was hilarious. My neighbour thought it was hilarious. She kept phoning me and saying, Aileen, there's a sheep in my garden. Stop it. Just stop. You aren't funny. So, sheep are back in the farm. Aileen is safe. Children can get fed again because I can go to the shops. Hi. And breathe. Right, I'm going to go because I'm talking absolute pants. And I've got work in half an hour. This will be up at 7 p.m. tonight, and I will, like I said, I'm going to continue this one next week just to give you a bit more of a insight, try and get you motivated to believing in yourselves. And if anybody wants to come on and talk about it and get kind of guided through it, feel free to message me. Like, we're always looking for guests anyway. I do have some guests lined up, but I don't have actual dates yet. But we can get you in. And I don't have any guests for next week, so if anybody does want to come in, then feel free. We can either do it over Zoom or we can do it in person, depending where you live. But I will go there now and get this edited, and then get it up and get to work. And yay! So I hope you all enjoy Halloween. Let the children eat as much sugar as they want. Let them live their best life. Be safe if you are going out trick-or-treating, because we all know there's some scary people out there. And that's not even at Halloween, that's all year round. And enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll speak to you all soon. Bye bye.